Hi everybody and welcome to the semifinals in the Onepagerules Warcry tournament. The tournament where I combine Onepagerules with the battle plan from Warcry. And this time, the Orcs will face the Battle Sisters. Both of these armies won their first match in this tournament, so now they will face each other for a place in the final. Check out the description or one of the previous matches for the details of these combined rules. First off, let's roll off to see who will be the attackers and who will be the defenders. Purple dice for the Battle Sisters, red dice for the Orcs. No conclusion here, so another roll off. And with a roll of 6, the Battle Sisters will choose to be the attackers. The Battle Sisters are led by a High Sister armed with heavy rifle and energy sword. Then a Vanguard Sister with flamethrower, a Battle Sister with heavy machine gun, and 3 Battle Sisters all with heavy rifle. All of the Battle Sisters have the Devout ability that gives them +1 shooting when they are within normally 12 inches. Remember, we play by the kitchen table rules, so in this case 6 inches. And then we have the Orcs. An Orc leader armed with Ultra Claw and Portal Gun, an Orc commander with heavy machine gun, and a specialist Orc with flamethrower, who also has the Relentless ability. And then we have 3 Orcs, all armed with pistol and Ultra Axe, and all the Orcs are furious and also bad shots. So that was the battle groups. Now let's go to the battle plan. And as usual, we will draw the terrain card first, randomly. So let's see what kind of terrain we are going to look at. And it's going to look something like this. We will create the battlefield in just a minute. Next up, the card for deployment. And again, pick one card randomly. And this is the Show of Strength deployment. I think we might have seen this particular deployment once before in this tournament. And finally, the card for the victory conditions, and the card will not be revealed yet. And according to the terrain card, the battlefield should look something like this. And we also have all the forces deployed. The Battle Sisters Dagger battle group in the lower middle section of the battlefield, the shields with the High Sister in the lower right corner, and the hammers in the middle of the right section of the battlefield. And the same goes for the Orcs. The Orc leader in the upper left section, and the others as seen here. And now let's reveal the victory conditions. And this time, the victory conditions will be the Comet. So there will be one objective in this match. At the beginning of the second battle round, a dice roll will decide where exactly the objective will be. And whoever controls the objective at the end of the third battle round will win the battle. Now let's see who will activate first. A 3 for the Orcs and a 1 for the Battle Sisters in the middle of this dangerous terrain poisonous slime pool in the middle of the battlefield. Let's go to round 1. First Orc to activate is the Machine Gunner. He is part of the Shield battle group and he moves his maximum range of 6 inches. Remember, we play by the kitchen table rules where all distances are cut in half. Next up, this Battle Sister. She's a part of the Hammer battle group and she's a bit exposed here without any cover, so she moves to cover behind the building. Then we have this Orc. He sneaks around the wall here and takes cover. And from this position, he is close to the group of Daggers. And this Battle Sister from the Dagger group immediately reacts. She moves 3 inches and takes position behind this building. And from here she can spot the Orc Machine Gunner. And she will take a shot. She will need a 5 because he is in cover. And she's not within the Devout range. So that's a failed shot with her heavy rifle. So next up, this Orc from the Dagger battle group. He moves 6 inches and takes cover behind this wall. And he is relatively close to the remaining battle sister in the hammer battle group here. He will not be able to shoot at her or reach her. The High Sister activates. She rushes out into the open battlefield. No one knows where the objective is going to be, so this is all a game of position at the moment. And the same goes for this orc. He rushes towards the middle of the battlefield, where he also is a bit exposed. Then the second battle sister here from the dagger group. She moves and she is not able to see or shoot at the orc here. And then we have the orc with the flamethrower. He will also have to move a bit closer to the heat of the action if he has to shoot someone next round. Finally, the battle sister here with the heavy machine gun. She moves out into the open, and from this position she can take a shot at this orc. She is very far away and she will have a penalty for range, but it will be possible with a roll of 5. And she actually hits 2 of her machine gun shots. It's an AP1 weapon, and with the orc defense value of 5, he will need 6s, and he failed both of them. So at long range, he is shot down by the battle sister, and he will have to check on the wound chart to see his fate. And with a 5, he is taken out. Really great shooting by the battle sister here, and the first casualty of this match. The orc leader is armed with a portal gun. It has a relatively short range, so he also has to move closer to the action, and he does so by jumping over the barricades. Then the battle sister here advances 3 inches, and she will be able to take a shot at the orc behind the cover. She will need a 4 because she is in devout range, but he is in cover. So 1 shot with the heavy rifle, and it's a 5. She will make a successful shot at the orc. The heavy rifle is AP1, so once again the orc will have to come up with a defense roll of 6, and he fails, so he also goes down with 1 wound. And of course, he will also have to roll on the wound chart to see his fate, a 5 or a 6, and he will be knocked out. Ooh, very close, it's a 4, but he is only stunned. And final activation of the first round is the last orc from the dagger battle group. He moves to help his fallen comrade here in cover behind the wall. And that concludes the first round. The battle sisters have made some very strategic movement here. They are all covering about half of the battlefield, and they are in a good position to shoot and hopefully thin out the orcs. And the orcs really have to get closer to the battle sisters. They are most effective in close combat. Let's see if they can do it in the next round. And so far, 1 casualty. And now we will reveal where the objective is going to be. That could be very decisive. And with a roll of 6, the objective is going to be right in the middle of the battlefield, and that could really mean some heavy battle. So who will get there first? We will see in the second round. The Battle Sisters finished first in the previous round, so they will activate first in the second round here, and the Vanguard Sister with the flamethrower just moves around the corner, and from this position she will fire her flamethrower 6 shots against the orc behind the cover, and she will need a 4. And what a roll that is! 5 flaming hits against the orc. The flamethrower is AP nothing, but he will still need rolls of 5 to block the flames here. And he will block a few of the shots, but still 3 shots will go through, so he will take 3 wounds and of course go down. And now he has a very, very tricky roll on the wound chart if he has to stay in this match. And he rolls a 1, so it's enough to be only stunned, and he also takes down a battle sister. Well, let's get her back on her feet. But he is stunned. So 2 wounded orcs behind the cover. Now in the lower left section of the battlefield, this orc charges against the battle sister. He is furious, so he will get a total of 3 attacks with his ultra axe, hitting on a roll of 4. And once again a devastating dice roll here. All 3 of his ultra axe attacks hit the battle sister. It's AP 1, so the battle sister will need defense rolls of 5. Ooh, and she blocks 2 of them. Just not the final hit. So she will take 1 wound, and of course that will take her down. She was so close, but she goes down with 1 wound. And let's see the roll on the wound chart. A roll of 6, so without a doubt, she is cut down and taken out of this match. Nice move by the orc. And carnage seems to break loose here. This battle sister activates and she charges against the wounded orc. He's stunned, so that immediately takes him out. That will be the orc's 2nd casualty of this game. The orc with the flamethrower makes a risky move here. He needs to get closer if he has to fire his flamethrower against anyone. So he moves in cover behind this crate. He is not yet close enough to seize the objective. This battle sister is out for revenge now. She advances 3 inches and fires her heavy rifle against the orc. She will only need a 3 to hit because she is within the devout range, and with a 6, there is definitely no doubt. She hits. What about the defense roll? The orc will need a 6, and he fails. And that means he takes 1 wound. Revenge could be sweet now. We will see the roll on the wound chart. And that looks like another 6. He is shot right back to where he came from, out of this game. The orcs are close to being at half strength now, so they have to do something. The machine gunner moves out from his cover, and from this position he can fire his 3 machine gun shots at the battle sister. He will need a 5 to hit because he is a bad shot, like all the other orcs. So 3 shots hitting on 5. And that definitely looks like bad shots. He will not hit anything. Completely failed attack. Let's see if the battle sister heavy machine gunner can do any better. She fires 3 times against the orc with the flamethrower, and she will need 5s to hit this time. So 1 hit out of the possible 3. Again, it's AP1, so the flamethrower orc will need a 6. And close, but not close enough. He fails, takes 1 wound. And if he is taken out now, the orcs will drop below half strength. But he is not. He is only stunned at the moment. And the orc leader moves very, very close to the central objective. He is not yet close enough, but he will be in the next round. And finally, the High Sister. She moves on the other side of this ruin, and she takes a shot at the orc here. And again, a great shot. She would have needed a 5 because he has the stealth ability. But she hits, and he also fails his defense roll. The orc commando here goes down with 1 wound, and the roll on the wound chart, it's a 5. It's a disaster for the orcs. It's their 4th casualty, and now they are below half strength, and that will force them to take morale tests already here at the end of the second round. Now the final orc to activate is the orc up here, and he gets back on his feet and is no longer stunned. So at the end of the second round, nobody controls the objective yet, but several are very close, and the orcs lost a lot of units in this round, and the Battle Sisters only won. So now the remaining orcs will be forced to take morale tests. So to begin with, this guy will be taken out automatically. He fails because he is stunned, and that leaves only the orc leader and the orc up here. He will need a 4, and that's a failed morale test. It almost looks like the orcs are humiliated now. Let's see what the orc leader can do. He will also need a 4, and with a roll of 6, he is the only orc standing here at the end of the second round. Now let's see what happens in the third round. Even though only one orc remains, the Battle Sisters still activate first, and this Battle Sister will advance to this position, the crack between the buildings, and she will take a shot at the orc with her heavy rifle. She will need a roll of 4. And with a 1 here, well, she doesn't hit anything. And now it's the orc leader's turn. He enters the poisonous slime pool here and takes the objective, but he will have to pass a dangerous terrain test. 1 dice for each tough value, and with a roll of 1 he will take a wound, but he is too tough and he doesn't take any wounds. But from this position he can fire his portal gun against this Battle Sister. He is just within range, and he will hit with a roll of 5. And well, what can you say? The orcs are really, really bad shots. The Battle Sister with the flamethrower will not be able to reach or shoot at the orc leader, but she will move to this position for a possible 4th round if that happens. And now this Battle Sister, she will advance to the other side of the wall, and she can take a shot with her heavy rifle at the orc leader here sitting in the middle of the poisonous pool. She will need a roll of 3, but she fails. Well, it begins to look a bit tricky now. But maybe the sharpshooting machine gunner Battle Sister will do the job. She moves close to the orc and fires her 3 shots, hitting on a 3. So she gets 2 hits, and the final hit is a failed attack. So 2 hits against the orc. He will need to defend with rolls of 6. That will not take him down, but of course it will wound him if he fails. And he fails 1, and also the other 2 wounds to the orc leader, heavily wounded now, but still standing. Now only the High Sister remains, and she has no choice. She will have to move close to the objective to contest it, otherwise the orc leader will win. So she steps into the poisonous slime pool, and with a tough value of 3, she will also roll 3 dice, and oh my god, 3 dice, 2 of them are 1s, so she will take 2 wounds by entering the dangerous toxic pool, and from here she will attack the orc with her energy sword. 2 attacks, hitting on 4s. This could be the decisive point of this battle. 1 hit with a 6, so that means a rending hit and a regular hit. She hits both attacks against the orc, and he will have to come up with 6s to get out of this one. Can he do it? No, he can't. He fails both his defense rolls. The High Sister, dripping with poisonous slime, swings her energy sword and takes 2 additional wounds of the orc. He has 4 now. And with a roll of 4 on the wound chart, that is enough to take him out for good, and he leaves the battlefield as the last orc. So at the end of the third round, the Battle Sisters have taken control of the objective and they have won the battle. And I might add, in a very superior fashion. There are no orcs left on the battlefield. They are completely eliminated. So the Battle Sisters will proceed to the final match in the Onepagerules Warcry tournament. So stay tuned to this channel to find out who the Battle Sisters will face in the final. Thanks a lot for watching this battle report. I hope you'll join me for future bad reps.